In the last episode, I drilled the cabinet and installed magnets for the fascia using both caulk and superglue. The front and sides of the cabinet were painted a hammered rust brown color, and the entire inside of the cabinet received over 9 coats of gloss white paint. Once everything finally dried, all surfaces received 4 layers of clear coat. I started on the overhead lights, but was distracted by Petco's $1 a gallon sale, and it was the last day.
$22.40. So now it's time to see if my calculations were right and if this thing fits into there. And it does. But I mean, it is super close. Look at that. I mean, it's so tight I can barely even move it. But so there's the first glimpse of the sump in the cabinet. So I made this template out of cardboard, and what this template is going to do is on my back wall, you're not going to see the edges, but you're going to see the inside hole cut out. You're only going to see one hole, and what that's going to allow me to do is from the back side of the cabinet, I can fit the MP10 through this hole, like so, and then bend the cables back. And the only thing you're going to see is just this hole where the cables come through. And then when I have to remove it, it'll be really easy. I just slide the MP10 through that cutout. As you can see, it slides right through. And on my back wall, all you'll see is this hole. So now I have to measure all of this out on the back and cut it out. So now I have my final layout of where the MP10s are going to go and the holes that I need to cut. And with this layout, you can see where the MP10 is going to go. So that'd be one MP10 and so on. And then when I was done with that, I just gave it another coat of paint. I'll probably give it another coat before I'm done. And then one more coat of clear coat. And so now that all of those holes are cut out, what I've done is I just made these cardboard templates. It'd be really easy to understand of what's going on in here. So first is going to be the apex, and that's the exact dimensions of the apex. And I left a little bit for when the cables come out at the apex where I need to drill and all that. So the first EB8, second EB8, and the third EB8. Now I've already measured this out, so these can actually touch like so. That can actually touch the other one, and the third EB8 will be right about there. So that's going to be the layout. In this area that's open, I'm going to have the breakout box material, like the the bus bar strip and then maybe a second bus bar here. So I did another 2 coats on this, and I'm clear coating it now. So as I put another coat on this, I have other stuff I have to work on, so I'll see you guys in a bit. So next on the list of things to do is on my Apex. If you're familiar with the Apex and the DIN 8 ports, which allow you to use like ATO sensors and switches and all that other good stuff. This is a DIN 8 cable I purchased from Amazon. It comes in like a 10-foot cord. So what I need to do next is cut the cables, which I've done here, and then strip the ends. And this is what the cable looks like stripped. There's 8 of these colored cables and 1 non-colored cable. So the other thing I purchased from Amazon are these distribution blocks. One is going to be for 1 through 8, and I'll probably have these as ground. And what I do is strip these cables back and then fan them out and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and move the ground to the bottom. And this is pretty much the completed breakout box. So what I've actually started doing is taking this red magic marker and coloring the top of the screws red for positive and black for negative, so they're easier to see from a distance, as you can see now. So what I have to do next is take a wire from here and jump it, jump it, jump it, jump it. So now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positives and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives. Okay, so what I'm doing now is since everything else is dry and I'm at a point where I can start working on this Apex stuff finally, yay, I built these layouts out of cardboard and I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I want things, but I think from all the measurements I've taken, this is where I want stuff to go. So it's really complicated to understand, but this is my Apex. And when the wires come out of the Apex, they need to go somewhere. So I need to cut a hole there. And this is the EB8. And on the left side of the EB8, there's a cord, so I got to cut that out. And then this is the bottom of the EB8. But this is where the cables, the USB cables, and a couple other things come out, and this is where the power cords come out. So right there is where I need to drill a hole, and then once that's completed, I will move that down here and just keep following that process for 2 more times. And also, this is a switch box I made that will turn on. So far, I think I have the sump lights to turn on, and one is an emergency. So if I lose power, I still have that Tesla battery as a backup. So I will turn, with one switch, I'll turn off like one MP10, one heater, and instead of the T5s on, I'll have the LEDs come on and, you know, etc. And I think the other 2 are just extra until I figure out what I'm doing with them. So I'm going to get on that, and hopefully the progress is good, because this dog is just dropping this ball by my feet every single time. And yeah, it's taken me a while. So also I'm jumping back and forth on projects, so I know this is going to get kind of sketchy. I'll do my best to make sure it comes out not so complicated. And so anyway, I'm going to jump on this, and I'll see you guys in a bit. So besides being a little dirty, this is what I've come up with, and give you a little example of what's going on here. So the apex is going to go up top, and once that's mounted, out of the apex there's going to be a bunch of cables. The bottom of the cables are going to be about here, and they'll twist up and go through that hole. And then the EB8 will go directly underneath of that, and this is where the cables will come out. As you can see, those two holes there, and on the side of the EB8 there's a plug. That's where that hole is. So, and I drilled a bigger hole so I can fit the main plug through there and then have the side come out, and then repeated that process all the way down. And this little hole up here is where this will fit, just like that. And the apex, the bottom of the apex will be exactly lined up like so. And then this is with the EB8 installed. And I just finished up the bottom, so when the bus bar goes in, something like that, there'll be holes. The holes there where the cable will come out and get screwed down to the bus bar. And now I'm set up for 2 bus bar.
In the next episode, I will pick up pieces of glass at my local glass store and install those into the 20 long sump using a new caulk I've never used before. And after another visit to the Home Depot, I pick up essential parts I need to start the plumbing. I hope you are enjoying the videos, and if you are, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and a great way to support the channel.